OSU's offense as they eventually won this game 10-4. USC saw glimmers of hope in the second game of the series that went into 13 innings, but an RBI single from Tanner Smith secured the second victory for the Ducks. In the final game of the series, OSU went up quickly with a 3-0 lead and eventually defeated USC 6-3. Luckily, 3 separate home runs from Connor Aoki, Connor Clift, and Bryce Martin Grunzon-Lenek helped secure an 8-5 win over CSUN last night. The Trojans will host their crosstown rivals, the UCLA Bruins, this upcoming weekend. The Bruins are 21-11-1 this season and 8-5-1 in conference play. Although UCLA took this loss over UC Davis this weekend, they currently are on a 2-game losing streak after a loss to UC Irvine last night. Leaders in the offensive effort for the Bruins are infielder Duce Gowerson, infielder Cody Schreier, and catcher Jack Holman. The OSU series was a tough watch. What do you think we need to improve on? The USC Trojans need to improve on against UCLA.
Well, quite frankly, they got a hit. I mean, you take a look at the 3-game series against Oregon State. In those 3 games combined, USC hit 158. It was even worse with runners in scoring position. 125 on Friday, 071 on Saturday, 0-0-0 on Sunday. If the Trojans can't drive in runners, this isn't a power offense. They have to be able to get timely hits, hit consistently, and stack them together if they want to take series. Bottom line.
Yeah, definitely. I think stacking them together is going to be a huge thing against UCLA. UCLA is a ranked team and USC currently is not. And this is a hard hit for them. I mean, they came off 5 straight series wins before they let it go. They're going to need this to build back some stamina and get some self-confidence back.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. If you look at the last time we played UCLA, we lost 5-3. The problem was our hitting. We couldn't hit against their pitchers. We got to up that pitch. We got to up our hitting. You got to score more runs than them. Got to start hitting home runs more.
USC's hitting definitely has to improve, but they also need to take their pitchers out when they're supposed to. Tyler Strongsberg got taken out too late in the first game after he gave up 6 runs. I know there's not a ton of depth within the pitching, but the Trojans need to start taking out their pitchers when they need to be taken out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot for Andy Stankiewicz to be in, no question, because the starting pitching has been so good in recent weeks. I mean, Stromsborg had a streak of 4 straight quality starts for USC prior to that clunker on Friday, but at least he got something good from Katie and Aoki. 1 run off 4 hits in 6 innings. And that ended a very long scoreless streak for Aoki that dated back to February. I think USC's pitching is going to bounce back, but against a UCLA team that has the 2nd lowest ERA in the Pac-12, if they can't score, they will not win the series.
Well, we'll see if Andy Stankiewicz can turn things around. But off the baseball diamond and onto the basketball court, the NBA playoffs are underway, and both the LA Lakers and Clippers are looking to make the Western Conference Final a battle for LA. Currently, the Clippers are tied 1-1 in a series against the Suns. In the first game, the Clippers were able to secure the win thanks to Kawhi Leonard dropping 38 points. But last night, Kevin Durant led Phoenix to a win, putting up 25 points on the Clippers. The 7-seeded Lakers have a tough road ahead, faced against the 2-seeded Grizzlies. This pressure didn't faze them, though, as 4 players had over 20 points. A standout was Austin Reeves, who was hitting 3-pointers and behind the back passes easily.
You know, it's a lot of emotions. You know, you dream about being, on a stage like this. The best basketball players in the world. It's the playoffs, and so there wasn't really anything to, worry about. It's a game of runs, so that was really what was talked about in the locker room.
So let's see how the whole bracket's going to play out. First up, Nuggets and Timberwolves. Timberwolves have no chance, Nuggets move on. Next up, Suns and Clippers. Just talked about the Clippers. They're a good team. The Suns are simply just better than them. They're going to win this round and move on. Next up, Kings and Warriors. Kings, they're just better than the Warriors. Simple as that. Steph Curry's not going to be able to show up, and they're going to lose. Lastly, in this section, we have Grizzlies and Lakers. Now, this is a bit of an upset, but I think the Lakers are going to pull off the upset win against the Grizzlies and move on. Next up to the Eastern Conference, we have the Bucks and the Heat. Bucks, they're simply just a better team, and they're better than the Heat. Giannis is going to play better than everyone else. Next up, Cavs and Knicks. Once again, higher seed is going to take it. Next up, 76ers and the Nets. 76ers have just been unstoppable, and they have an MVP candidate player. They're going to outplay the Nets. And lastly, Celtics and Hawks. The Celtics have been almost unstoppable this season and have been on the run of a lifetime, so they're going to take the win. Next up, Nuggets and the Suns. Nuggets, again, they're just so good this year. I don't see them beating the Suns. Next is the Kings and the Lakers. I really think the Lakers are going to pull off some upset runs this year. LeBron's been playing great, and if Austin Reeves can keep up what he's been doing, they're going to have a good chance to make it to the finals. Next, the Bucks and Cavaliers. Giannis is just too good, especially if he can stay healthy. They're going to move on. Lastly, 76ers and the Celtics. Two powerhouses of the season. It's going to be a tough match, but it's going to be a really entertaining series. But I think in the end, the 76ers are going to pull off the win over the Celtics. Now, on to the Final Four, the semifinals. I really think the Nuggets are going to be able to pull away all the way to the finals. And then, it's also going to be Lakers losing against them. Finally, the Bucks and the Celtics. Unfortunately, I think the Celtics season is going to run out, and the Bucks are going to go all the way. And in the final, the Bucks are going to take it once again, and the Bucks are going to be your NBA champions.
But we need to be a lot better in game two. They're going to go back and they're going to counter. And I mean, we have 15 turnovers for 15 points. We can't do that. We got to be a lot better, and that starts with me, obviously. And we got to do a little bit better job on the glass as well. Even though, for the majority, we controlled it, but we got to do even better because that's what they're very good at.
So guys, the NBA playoffs are just starting, and it looks like it's going to be a really fun playoff season. So how far do you think the Lakers and the Clippers are going to go?
I don't think either goes to the NBA Finals. I would believe out of the West it would be the Phoenix Suns. However, if I had to buy stock in one team, I think it's clearly the Lakers. And for me, it's less about what they have on the court and more about path. Ja Morant has an injury now, missed the fourth quarter of that game for the Grizzlies. When Ja Morant was out, Lakers were outscored Memphis 23-11. Even if Morant misses one more game and the Lakers take a 2-0 series lead with 3 of the next 5 games at Crypto.com Arena, they can get by that series. And then in the next round, you'd be taking on likely the Sacramento Kings, given the fact that Draymond Green is now suspended for taking a stomp on Sabonis for the Kings. So that's a matchup you like for the Lakers as well. Meanwhile, the Clippers, I'm sorry, this first round matchup's just too tough for them. They're going to be out.
I completely agree with you, Will. I mean, I think the Suns are just going to knock the Clippers out. We have Paul George not playing. He's injured. That's going to be a huge problem. The Suns have way too much firepower to lose against the Clippers. I also think that the Lakers do have a chance to make it kind of far. I don't think they're going to make it necessarily to the championship game, but they have a better chance of getting far than the Clippers do, without a doubt.
I don't know. I'm putting my money on the Clippers. As good as the Lakers have been recently, Kawhi is great, and Kawhi is made for the playoffs. Maybe that's because he doesn't play much in the regular season, but he always knows how to step up to the plate.
I don't know. I had to say, like I said before, I think the Bucks are going to be able to pull through. Giannis is just so unstoppable, and I think he's going to really carry this team to the end.
I'm going Sixers.
Sixers, really?
What do we think about that? Is that too much?
I think they're a little too low in the Eastern Conference seeding for me, but the NBA is too chalk for the Sixers to make a run. It'll be the Celtics or the Bucks out of the East. But moving on to the other winter playoff sports going on, there's nothing quite like playoff hockey. The Stanley Cup playoffs began on Monday with 16 teams competing for the best trophy in sports. One of those teams is the LA Kings, making their second straight appearance after a 3-year drought. The Edmonton Oilers wasted no time showing off one of the most high-octane offenses in the NHL. Leon Draisaitl netted 2 goals as the Oilers took leads of 2-0 and 3-1. However, the Kings showed off their resilience in the third. Adrian Kempe scored 2 goals to keep LA within striking distance. With the net empty, Anze Kopitar found the back of the net with 17 seconds left to send the game to overtime. And in sudden death, Alex Iafallo scored the game winner to give the Kings a 1-0 series lead. That wasn't the only overtime game on Monday. The Wild and Star needed 2 OTs for Ryan Hartman to steal home ice from Minnesota. Up in Canada, the Lightning blitzed the Maple Leafs in Toronto, scoring a touchdown in a 7-3 win. Elsewhere around the league, the Hurricanes netted 2 power play goals while killing off 4 penalties in a 2-1 win over the Islanders. The Bruins picked up right where they left off in their historic regular season, defeating Florida 3-1. Chris Kreider scored 2 goals for the Rangers in a 5-1 win over the rival Bruins. The Jets dominated the Golden Knights in shots, winning 5-1. And lastly, the Seattle Kraken earned their first playoff win in franchise history, taking down the defending champs 3-1. If you thought the first 2 nights of the playoffs were crazy, there's plenty more where that came from. 4 series will drop the puck for Game 2 tonight, including the Kings at 7 o'clock.
Trojan football returned to the Coliseum for their annual spring game. Promises of a new and improved defense were kept with the debut of transfers Mason Cobb, Anthony Lucas, and Keon Bars. Trojans are gearing up for a shot at the national championship this year, and they might have the defense to do it. Promises of this new and improved defense are going to be fulfilled. Former Aggie and 5-star linebacker Anthony Lucas is sure to remain intimidating at the line of scrimmage. Keon Bars from U of A is the massive defensive tackle USC needs to hold down the interior. And from Oklahoma State, we have the epic inside linebacker in Mason Cobbs. Freshman running back Quentin Joyner made his mark with a ton of explosive plays and a 26-yard touchdown. Another freshman, Zach Branch, had all the wide receiver hype in the offseason, and he was quick to prove himself with impressive catches, speed, and agility. Veteran quarterback Caleb Williams only played 1 possession on Saturday, leading the team down the field for a touchdown in only 3 plays. The Trojans had a successful day, proving their worth on both sides of the ball. Here's what Coach Lincoln Riley had to say about the team's improvements.
The body types, some of the size, especially at the line of scrimmage, some of the competitive depth at a lot of these positions is very different and in a much positive way. So very excited about that. It's been a really nice spring. This is a great way to finish it off.
Okay, you guys, so we saw a lot going on Saturday, but I think the most exciting news is seeing this defense and some of the changes that have been made. But do you think that they're going to be able to transfer this sort of play into the fall?
Absolutely not. Let's take a look at what actually happened in that spring game. USC's defense had 4 turnovers. They also gave up 34 points in 2 quarters. Sound familiar? That sounds exactly like how last season went. A lot of turnovers, but they gave up a lot of points. The running lanes were wide open for the offense all day. Oh, by the way, USC had backup quarterbacks in the entire game. I'm sorry, I need a much more dominant effort from the defense than that to feel confident. Now, it's only spring, plenty of time to get it corrected, but I'm going to feel great about that. No, I am not.
The biggest concern for me is the fact that they put up those stats against backup quarterbacks. I mean, how are we supposed to expect them to win against the likes of Cam Rising again or other top-tier Pac-12 quarterbacks when they do that against backup quarterbacks? It just doesn't seem plausible for me to be better.
Yeah, if we're playing the backup quarterbacks in our 2nd and 3rd string, that defense did not impress me. The thing that really did impress me, though, was our offensive depth. We had Quentin Joyner, Dorian Singer. We had people all around offense making plays, and I'm excited to see what they can do next season.
Well, I completely agree. I think another interesting topic here is who's going to be QB2? Any ideas?
Oh, it's got to be Miller Moss, at least right now. I mean, you take a look at the way each guy played. I mean, Malachi Nelson, you presume, is going to be the guy once this team heads out to the Midwest and the Big Ten. But I'll tell you what, right now, the difference was turnovers. Miller Moss had the 1 interception on sort of the jump ball in the end zone, but Malachi Nelson fumbled the ball in 2-hand touch football because he can't actually tackle the quarterback. They were wearing the yellow non-contact jerseys, threw a duck into double coverage in the middle of the second half, and with a chance to win the game, threw the ball into triple coverage for an interception. He just didn't protect the football good enough, and that was one of the biggest things for USC a year ago is that they didn't turn the football over. Until Lincoln Riley can trust Malachi Nelson, I don't see they can make him the backup quarterback. Yeah.
I think it's going to take some time, but under Lincoln Riley, I think Malachi Nelson is going to be a top-tier quarterback. But right now, Miller Moss definitely is ahead of him.
I think so, too. I think that's exactly how it's going to work out. Any other thoughts on the spring football game? I think it's only as telling as a spring football game can be. Exactly. I think we're really just going to have to wait until their season starts. And that's going to be in a while. But let's take a look into what's going on right now in USC athletics. Beach volleyball said a bittersweet goodbye to Norman Stadium yesterday. It was their last time playing at home for the season, but they were able to hold CSU Bakersfield 5-0. Up next, they'll head to UCLA.
USC lacrosse brought home 2 wins after defeating Colorado and Oregon on their road trip last weekend. These 2 wins have placed the Trojans at 20th for the IWLCA lacrosse rankings.
At long last, the Trojans are at the top of the water polo universe. USC is now ranked tops in the country by Collegiate Water Polo Association after 2 wins over the weekend over LMU and Arizona State. They currently sit at 24-1 and have won 12 straight.
Men's tennis is on a roll, picking up 2 back-to-back victories over Oregon and Washington, while women's tennis also beat Oregon. The women are headed to play crosstown rival UCLA on Friday. There's also Trojan honors with Dylan Klein as all MPSF and MPSF all-freshman honors, Emma Whiteman, lacrosse Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, and Allie Jones, track and field, Pac-12 Women's Field Athlete of the Week.
And that's all we have for you today on Sports Scene. Make sure to tune in next week to catch our final show of the year. That's pretty bittersweet. Until next time, from everyone here at Annenberg Media, take care and fight on.